Ay, hola Sol, ¿cómo
Hola,
estás?
bien, ¿y tú?
¿Cómo estás, linda? Bien, linda, ¿qué tal? No sé si eso es para la clase, un minutito.
Sí.
¿Aló? ¿Aló? Who's this? No sé. Ok, pensé que era para la clase. Ok, vamos a apagar esto.
¿Cómo estás, Vivian?
Bien, linda, ¿cómo están?
Gracias.
Estoy acá en Singapur.
¿Qué tal? ¿Te ha gustado?
Interesante.
¿Singapur?
Parte- sí,
Ay, qué padre.
partes me parecen Panamá. Downtown sí es otra cosa, muy avanzado, pero es como un shopping center muy grande, ¿no? O sea,
Sí.
como
Sí.
las marcas están, no sé, hasta ya es como botado, o sea, Gucci en 3 cuadras, hay como 4 Gucci. O sea, es
Hay un restaurante kosher muy bueno. ¿Ya lo conoces? Aniva.
acabamos de venir de ahí.
Ah,
Todas las noches hemos comido ahí. Espérate, no sé cómo bajarle
y
esta
está
cosa.
padre, está cool.
Sí, 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 muy, muy. Y lo han diseñado para gente que no es judía. O
Mm.
sea, está lleno de todo, delicioso. Todas las noches hemos comido. Pero bueno, así que,
Bueno,
y ¿sabes qué? Mira la ironía de la vida. Cuando uno está en Israel y no son 12 horas, es difícil cuadrar el horario con Estados Unidos. Pero ahora que estamos a 12 horas exacto, es más fácil. Dios
claro.
está en los opuestos. Dios está en los opuestos, así que así es. Bueno, esta clase es inglés, chicas. Okay, hi Michelle. Okay,
Hello.
so we're gonna start. Hi. I think people are signing in. Okay. Hola, Elena. Okay,
Hola, Vivian.
all right.
Hola, hola.
¿Cómo están? ¿Cómo están? Okay, so we're gonna try to do the class. Okay, estamos. All right, so we're in chapter. Today is Tanya. Um, Today is half and half. So but we only have 1 hour. No? Ah, yeah, we have 1 hour. Okay, so we are on chapter 26. And okay. And we have chapter 26 talking about the importance of being besimcha, of being happy. And not just as an end. Happiness in the Torah is not like when I lose 10 pounds, I'm gonna be happy. When I graduate, I'm gonna be happy. When I find my shidduch, I'm gonna be happy. In the Torah way, happiness is not a means, it's an end. I'm sorry, it's not an end, it's a means. Sorry, remember, I'm 12 hours. Happiness is not the end, happiness is a means. It's not because when happiness becomes the end, it's like chasing the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, right? And it's always going to be elusive. As Pirkei Avot says, whoever wants $100 is always, when they achieve 100, they want 200. Whenever we get our heart's desires, when we achieve buying the purse I really wanted and I got it, now I want the next color, I want the next purse, I want something else. When I, you know, even in school, we're always looking forward to finishing school. So we finish the year, but then it's the next year. So it's telling us, chapter 26, that happiness is a component, just like when we get ready in the morning and we put ourselves together and we're making sure that the shirt matches my skirt and my skirt matches my shoes, and my makeup is right and my jewelry. We also have to understand another component is now I need happiness. I need to view my perspective for the day is going to be besimcha. Okay. So why is that? Because we're here for a mission. We're all sent here for a mission. Everybody has a different mission. And the only way I can successfully fulfill my mission to the utmost, to my potential, is when I'm happy. The days that I'm not happy, I am functioning like 20%, 30%, but I'm never going to reach my potential. Okay, so we're going to go on chapter 26. Okay, bear with me because I have to. Oh no. Oh no, my glasses fell from here. Okay. Yeah, I hear it. Okay. All right. So, and just a recap from last week. We said here on page 149, it says the Yetzer Hara tries to get us to sin, right? The Yetzer Hara is doing its job. The Yetzer Hara is the lowest place of my animal soul. We have two souls inside of us. We have a divine soul that is a part of Hashem. So it's always happy because whatever Hashem gives us, it's happy. If it rains, it's happy. If it's sunshine, it's happy. Whatever is happening, it knows that is exactly what Hashem wants. So it's happy. And the Yetzer Hara is the lowest part of my animal soul. So that's where, I wanted it to be a sunny day, but it's raining. Then I'm not happy. I wanted to get into the college, but I didn't. So then I'm not happy. So now the Yetzer Hara is the temptation to sin. And when it gets us to sin, it's doing its job. And because we're human beings, we're not angels, right? So when we fall, not only are we going to fall, and yes, we have to realize, you know what? I fell, I did something I shouldn't, but quickly, because the component of happiness is so important. Oh, what is a Zoom link? Somebody wants a Zoom link. Yeah, hold on 1 second. The Zoom link. Yeah. Okay, 1 second. Copy. Let me put it for her. 1 second. Somebody's asking for the Zoom link here. Okay, there. Because the component of happiness is so important. When I fall, the quicker I can get up, the quicker I can regain my happiness, the better I'm gonna be. And the Yetzer Hara is the force, that is trying to, you know what, I fell, let me feel bad because I fell, right? So not only did I fall, but now I have to feel bad that I fell. So that's like taking away my happiness and not allowing me to regain it. The quicker I will regain my happiness, the better I will be, right? And what happens when we don't have that component of happiness is because we're feeling bad, right? I am like punishing myself, I'm so stupid, I fell, oh, why did I do that? I am trying to be a Baal Teshuva, but I didn't pray, I didn't whatever. So because we need the component of happiness, if I don't achieve it, I'm going to look for it in things that are not permissible. Like even what is comfort food? What is the concept of comfort food? Comfort food is I feel bad, but because I need happiness, my default is I want to feel good, then I'm going to search for comfort food, for something that's going to instantly give me happiness. Of course, it's instantaneous, so it's not going to last. Or I'm going to, hasbe shalom, addictions, drugs, because I am searching for happiness. So chapter 26 tells us it's we need to understand that we need to it's a basic component for our lives. Okay. All right. So let's go. Here it says, with tears or a song. The Tzemach Tzedek, the Rebbe of Lubavitch, once visited some Cantonists. So who were the Cantonists? The Cantonists were Jewish children that in Russia, in the times of the Tsars, they had been conscripted to the army when they were 5 years old. Like they would come, the Tsars army would come to the shtetls where the Jews were, and they would take away the children, and they would conscript them in the army for about 25 years. And they would torture these children so they would leave every trace of their Yiddishkeit, of their Judaism. Now, what happened is that 25 years later, when these children would come back to their homes, right? Many of them couldn't get along with the other Jews because they had no idea of their Yiddishkeit. So many of them, many Cantonists had to make cities of their own, and they would live among themselves. Okay, so once the Tzemach Tzedek visited these Cantonists, right, and he was greeted by an enthusiastic Cantonist. And he said, "We have prepared ourselves physically for your visit and have shined our buttons." So this Cantonist, he says, Rebbe, we're so happy you're here. We have shined our buttons. We have prepared ourselves physically for your visit, right? Now we request from you to clean our neshamas. Like, we know that we are impure. We have been so far away from our Jewish roots. Please clean our souls. Like, this is what this soldier is asking. Just like, and what did this Rebbe answered? He said, just like sand and water are used to clean things physically, right? Sand and water will clean things. Sand, the Tzemach Tzedek responded, the sand is Tehillim. When we recite Tehillim, that's like sand for our souls. It's cleaning our souls. And the waters is tears of teshuvah. When a person is doing teshuvah is not, I am just regretting the past. Teshuvah is teshuv to hay, is to return to to shuv to the hay. It's to return to my essence. So when a person is crying because I want to return to my essence, right? That's the water, and Tehillim is like the sand. So you're cleaning yourself. And the soldier responded, but we have been trained that we can't be sad. The soldier responded, we have been trained in the army of the Tsar that we can't be sad. If we want to be victorious in a war, we have to maintain ourselves happy. So the soldier is saying, we have been trained not to be sad, right? Rather, we go out singing a victorious march. We go to war singing a victorious march. So it's very interesting because we are coming out of Tishrei, of the first month of this month of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, right? When our year has started, and it says that the Jews starting the year is like Yaakov when he left his home of Beersheba, his comfortable home with his parents, where there was a lot of spirituality, and now he's going to go to Haran. He's going to go to a very impure place to meet Lavan, who was a very not nice person. And he's going to have all these challenges. So Yaakov leaving his place of purity to go into a place of impurity in Hasidut, it's compared to the soul. Our soul comes from the heaven, from a very pure place. And when the soul is vested, is it has the clothing of the body, and it comes down to this world. And this world, there's so much impurity, right? There's so many tests, and there's so much impurity and so much decadence. So Yaakov leaving Beersheba to go to Haran is compared to the soul leaving heaven to come to this world. And what does it say? How does Yaakov go? It says that Yaakov went like skipping. He went like with happiness. He went, right? He had the dream of the ladder, and he knows that Hashem is going to protect him, right? So when we leave the month of Tishrei, where we have had Rosh Hashanah, Kippur, Sukkot, that is like a hug of Hashem, we're leaving that month. It's like Yaakov that now is going on the road. We are going on the road to the year. And the soldier says, we have been taught in the army of the Tsar that when we go out to the war, because this world is like a war, we have to go with happiness. So Rebbe, we can't use tears, of teshuvah. So how does this story goes? It says that the Tzemach Tzedek agreed. He says, you're right, and greatly appreciated the powerful and sincere approach. After all the many years of suffering of these poor soldiers, the special Jew's neshama was still burning strong. It was still strong. It still wanted to connect to Hashem. He was able to achieve through joy that which is usually only accomplished through tears. So simcha is invaluable. Okay. Now it tells us where the Shekhinah dwells. The Shekhinah is the presence of Hashem in this world. The Shekhinah only dwells in a place where there is a joy over a mitzvah. So our sages tell us Hashem wants to be where there's simcha. And don't we all? When we see people that are happy, don't we say, I want to be part of that? Right? When we see people that are complaining and are sad, we say, we don't want to partake of that. We want simcha. More so in everything that pertains to the Torah. When we see people that are keeping Shabbat or doing kosher or doing mitzvot, and when they're so happy, we say, oh, I want some of that. But if we see a person that's doing a mitzvah and we see them, it's Shabbat, I have to cook for Shabbat. I know a lady, and she used to make Shabbat in her house and try to invite people, but everything that she was doing was like, oh, I have to do this and I have to do that. And one day her daughter looked at the mother and said, Mom, when I grow up, I'm never going to do Shabbat dinners. I'm never going to invite. And she said, why? She goes, because I see you. I see you that it's like, it's so rough and tough and you're suffering. I don't want that. So this woman had to rethink, oh my gosh, what message am I giving my children? Right? So when we see somebody with happiness, with simcha, then we say, oh, I want some of that. Okay. All right. So the Arizal, now they're telling us about the great Kabbalist. He wrote the Zohar. And the Arizal once remarked that he was worthy of Ruach HaKodesh, right? That Hashem gave him Ruach HaKodesh. Hashem gave him prophecy, see, and the revelation of Eliyahu Navi because of the joy which he performed mitzvot. So, ladies, just a reminder, the ladies from the CYS, you need to put on your camera, okay, when you're on Zoom, okay? So, the Rizal says that he merited to have these great revelations. Even Eliyahu Navi taught the Rizal Kabbalah. He said, because of my joy in doing mitzvot. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to go on. It says there's an old Hasidic saying, depression is not an avera. It's not a sin. But what depression can lead to, the most severe avera can never cause. So it's saying to us that a person that is in the opposite of happiness is depression. So we see something, because depression, and I'm not talking about clinical depression, I'm not talking about chemical depression. Those, please, those are for the professionals. They need psychiatrists, psychologists, and I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just depression from just, putting up the sign, I don't want to deal with life. I don't want to deal with life. It's too hard for me. I feel bad. I'm tired. Okay. So as we see, depression puts a brake on what we do. And we have said many times, we are here in a mission. Hashem sends us every day. Every day is an opportunity, and it's a mission that we have to achieve. And in order to achieve it, we need happiness in order to fulfill our mission to the utmost. So what is the antithesis? What is the opposite of happiness? It's depression, because depression actually puts the brake on. It paralyzes us. A person that is heavily depressed, they can't even get out of bed, right? Even getting out of bed is an effort. So it says depression is not a sin. There's not a sin of depression, but depression can lead us to do the worst sin. And where do we see this in the Torah? We see this with Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel, they were the two sons of Adam and Eve, and they were the two inheritors of the whole world. Like, they were the two CEOs. They were going to inherit all the gold mines and all the petroleum, everything. Everything in the world was going to be divided between two brothers. And what happened was that Cain, he was a farmer. He put some one second. He put some, one second. He wanted to make an offering to Hashem. So in those times, to make an offering for Hashem, he would make an altar. The altar, he put a few stones, and he put some seeds that he had left over, which were of flax seeds, what you make linen of. He put them on the altar, and he wanted Hashem to accept it. And then his brother Abel, he saw that and he said, "Oh, you make offerings to Hashem, I can make an offering." So he made, put some stones, made the altar. But Abel was a shepherd. Cain was a farmer, and Abel was a shepherd. So he said, to Hashem, I'm going to give the best. So he brought the best lamb that he had, and he put it on the altar. Okay. And they're both there. Cain is there, and Abel is there. And Hashem sends a fire and consumes Abel's sheep offering. And Cain is watching and waiting. When is Hashem going to consume my offering? But Hashem is a God that even knows our thoughts, and he knows our potential. And Hashem accepted Abel's sacrifice because he gave the best. But he knew that Cain had not done his best. He had put a few seeds that he had left over. So Cain's face is starting to change. And instead of being happy, he starts to get sad and going into depression. And Hashem speaks to him, because it's written in the Torah, and it says, why is your face getting sad, right? Offer to me also your best, and I will accept it. Give me your best. Hashem doesn't want mediocrity. Give me 100% of yourself, and I will accept whatever 100% is, because each person has a different potential, right? But your 100%, that's amazing for Hashem. Give me your 100% and I will accept it. But Cain his face is still getting very, very depressed. And Hashem says, and if you don't, depression will lead you, right? It says sin will crouch out your door. Depression will lead you to the worst sin. And that's why Cain killed his brother. Because when I see competition can lead me to do my best and to do something more, or I can, Chas v'shalom, I can kill the competition, right? So this is what happens in depression. It's not a sin, but it can lead us to the worst of sins. Okay, second, let me just. Okay, let's go. All right, let's go. So, in previous generations, it was sometimes appropriate to be bitter and sad about how far they were from Hashem. Like in previous generations, people would get bitter and sad, and they tell us people in order to do teshuvah, they would fast. They would fast like 40 days, right? King David, after the sin of Bathsheba, like when he wanted to do teshuvah, to come closer to Hashem, he fasted for an immense amount of time, right? But they say those generations were much stronger than us. That's why people in the earlier generations, right? They lived 1,000 years, 900 years, 700 years. And we have seen that from the beginning of time till now, the lifespan has gotten smaller because we are weaker. So our sages tell us, our generation, we should not resort to doing teshuvah with bitterness or with sadness, rather only with joy. For us, in every generation, there's a way of serving Hashem, and there's tests. For our generation, it's to be able to serve Hashem with joy. And if we see, look at our society. What is the amusement, the entertainment industry? It's billions of dollars industry. Not only in movies, in theme parks, in vacations, people are thirsting for happiness. They think that they can purchase it. They think that they can watch a movie and be happy, right? It's only momentary happiness that they're doing. But we're so hungry. Our generation is so hungry for happiness, right? That is the way of serving Hashem. That is the test for us. We're no longer the generations that serve Hashem with bitterness or with sadness. That is not for us. Okay. All right. So the best medicine. The Rebbe, Reb Simcha Bunim of Pershisha, once saw someone drowning at sea. So this is a particular story. So there is this Rebbe, the Reb Bunim, and he was watching as one person was drowning in the sea. Now, the Rebbe realized he had no possibility of jumping in and saving the man. Okay, he didn't have that ability. So what did he do? Realizing that he would not be able to save him, he called out, "When you go down, like when you drown, make sure to send regards to the Leviathan." So who's the Leviathan? The Leviathan, it says, or sages tell us that in the beginning of the world, Hashem made two huge, it's whales, but they're huge, humongous. They're called the Leviathan. And he realized that if they reproduce, this male and female, that they would eat up everything that was in the sea. So Hashem killed, I don't know if he killed the male or the female, one of them. And he salted this fish. Hashem salted this huge whale, Leviathan. And that is going to be the food that we're going to eat when Mashiach comes. There's going to be a big banquet. And the delicacy is going to be this salted fish. Okay, so this Rebbe is watching this Jew drowning, and he sees that the Jew is like losing hope, and he tells him, when you go down, when you drown, make sure to give my regards to the Leviathan, to the whale, because our sages tell us that one of the whales is still down there. And what happened? That the poor drowning man started laughing. He said, it's so ridiculous, and he started laughing. But what did this laughter cause him? With this joy, he received an extra surge of strength, and soon he was safe on shore. He was able to save himself. So it's with happiness and laughter, it says that tzedakah starts at home. We need to learn to laugh at ourselves. We need to learn to laugh at the small things in life, at the big things in life. This week was my birthday, my Jewish birthday. And it was the day of my birthday. And I went out running, and I'm in this city that I don't know. And my husband had told me, Vivian, be careful, because here, because of the rains, there's a lot of different levels on the street. Like all of a sudden you're walking, and then there's a little, maybe even 2 inches, 3 inches, and then the sidewalk changes. And the first night that we were here, he was telling me that like 10 times, to the point that I thought, oh, so ridiculous. Like, how many times is he gonna tell me? But I didn't say anything. And then the next morning I went running, and my way of learning a city is like to go running. I like to see it. And so I was running, and all of a sudden I changed from one street to the other. And as soon as I got to the next sidewalk, I was on the floor. And it happened so fast, because the different levels is so tiny that I couldn't even see it. And I was on the floor. I heard I scraped my knee, I scraped my hand, and I just started to laugh. I said, wow, today's my birthday. And I used to run, years ago. I used to love running, trail running, like in between, like not in asphalt, in the trail. And I used to fall. I used to fall because, there was a stone, and I would scrape my knee. And I said, wow, it's like being a little girl again. And I just laughed. I mean, I had already hurt myself. What am I going to do? And then I picked myself up and I kept on running. So to me, it was just a reminder that we need to laugh at ourselves. We need to laugh at life whenever possible, because that's the quicker we can find the joy in something, right? The better we will be. Okay. So one more story here. Even things that appear to be bad are for the good. So in chapter 26, the Rebbe is going to give us techniques. How can we find the happiness in every day? Because sometimes it's very hard. Has v'shalom, sometimes there's a loss. Sometimes there's dreams that are unfulfilled, right? And they're very serious things. How can we still find happiness? So one of the techniques he's going to explain, even things that appear to be bad are for the good. So I didn't get in the job. I didn't get into the college. The boy didn't call me, whatever it is. And we think, oh my gosh, that's such a bad thing. I could get sad. But when we go a little bit further, not at the thing that's happening, but let's say, where did this come from? Who allowed this door to close in my life, right? Where did this come from? It came from Hashem. So it says, even things that appear to be bad are for the good, but the good is not revealed or seen with physical eyes, because it is from the hidden world. So God has, like we have, we have a body and a soul. The body you can see, the soul is hidden, right? We also have two parts to our personality. We have our public persona, when we get dressed and we put our makeup and we are this persona, but everybody has a private part, right? A private part that maybe nobody knows because it's private, right? So that's the hidden part of a person. There's the public and then there's the hidden. So Hashem, we are made in the image of God. We have two parts, the public and the private, because Hashem has two parts. So the revealed part is what we see. And that is what translates to us as revealed good. When things are sweet, when things, go my way, that's what I interpret as good. But that sages tell us, that comes from a lower part of Hashem, because that's the outer part of Hashem. But then there's an inner part of God. And that's where the hidden good comes from. And the hidden good is what comes into this world, is revealed as something that I cannot see the goodness in it. Maybe it hurts. Maybe it's Chas v'Shalom, a loss. May God not test us. Maybe it's that the door closed on me. Maybe it's, I don't know, so many things. Maybe it's the person that lost the flight. The person has a flight and they get to the counter and they tell them, no, sorry, the flight already left. So what do they think? Oh, that's so bad. I needed my flight. I have my suitcase. I'm all ready to go. I'm gonna miss the flight. I missed the flight. It's so bad, right? I interpret it as bad. Our sages are telling us, this that you're seeing as bad, go a little bit further, go a little bit deeper. It's coming from a deeper part of Hashem. So it's called the hidden good. Why? Chas v'Shalom, something happened to that flight. As a friend of mine told me, she said they were in Europe, and she was going on a train from Paris to another country in Europe, and they got to this train station and they missed the train. And the husband turned to her, and he was so upset. And she said, don't be upset. Look at the board. There's other countries that they were going for a vacation. Choose. We're already in the train station. We already have our ticket, our luggage. Choose another place. So they said, okay, we're gonna go to, I think, Switzerland. And what happened? She asked for her money back, but they said no. But they refused to give her the money. She lost the money. She lost the train. Okay, so she went to the other train. Now, she's on the train going to this other country, other destination, and she gets a message, because she was supposed to be on the first train. So that ticket was never annulled. So she's getting messages that are being sent to the people that were in the first train saying, sorry, there was some problems with the train and we're going to have to go back. It's impossible to get her to our destination. We're going back to the station in Paris. This is what happened to the first train. And then as she's moving on, she's already getting into her destination, she gets another message. Oh, to all the travelers that were in this first train, we're going to give back your money for the ticket. So, when she lost the first train, she thought, oh, that was bad. But really, that's called hidden good. It's Hashem that's bringing blessings, but it's from a place that is so high up that we see it as not good, but it really was a hidden good. Okay, so joy comes from a sense of love and closeness to Hashem. So another technique, not only is to think, where is this coming from? Another technique is joy is not in doing what I want. Joy, real joy, comes from feeling close to Hashem, to fulfilling my mission. That's real joy, yeah, that is greater than one's connections to anything in this world. And closeness to Hashem is infinitely greater in the hidden world. You know, Chas Shalom, there's you know, a person in a shiva, may Hashem not test us, but a person that is in a shiva, a person feels so alone because they feel nobody is really can feel my loss, right? A person that is in a shiva, it has suffered a terrible loss, and they feel alone. And Hasidus says, you know, in that aloneness, you are reaching a part of Hashem where Hashem is also alone. Because even though Hashem created this world, this intricate world, right? But nevertheless, our sages tell us he's the same before creation, during creation, and after creation. So Hashem, there's a place, a part of him that he is also alone. And when a person is alone in a shiva, right, there's a connection. There's a connection of these two souls, these two entities. So even that, you know, when we can focus on at least I'm close to God. Okay. I'm going to leave 1 second. Let's mute this, let's mute this, let's mute this. And I'm going to do. Ay, ay, ay. Okay.
Hola.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go into Tehillim now. Okay, and we're gonna do, in this class, I didn't do Tehillim number 8, because last week we didn't have the time. We're gonna do Tehillim number 8 today. Okay, 1 second, let me just this here. Okay, so through the Tehillim, we're getting to know the life of King David. We're also getting to know his different, his passionate soul, and we are connecting to that. And we're connecting to these powerful words. As we just mentioned in the book of Tanya, Tehillim is like sand to the soul. It scrapes the soul. It purifies the soul. And as I always say in this class, there's a magnetism in Tehillim. There's something that draws us to Tehillim. We know we should say Tehillim. It's a connection that is very, very powerful. And I'm seeking to understand this. What is it? What is the magic in the Tehillim, right? Why has it been always part of our rituals, our connection to God through this Tehillim? Okay. So Tehillim number 8, okay, it says like this. It says, La Menatzeach, for the conductor, on the Gittit, a psalm of David. So just like Torah, this is part of Torah, and Torah is written in the most short, succinct way. It's like chemical formula. It's like H2O. We need to understand what is H, what is 2, what is O. And so every word here for the conductor, of course, is speaking to Hashem. On the Gittit, Gittit is an instrument, and King David loved instruments. He also played the harp. And we know that the Tehillims also, they were sung. So there was like a song to them. But Gittit is not only an instrument, but also it could be a person. And it says that there was an episode during King David's reign that enemies took our ark. In the ark was like the heart of the Jewish people. It was the center of our temple, and it contained the luchot. It contained the tablets that were given by Hashem. and the enemy took the luchot. Okay, so King David, by extraordinary force, he went and he took it back. He took the luchot from the enemy, right? And then he deposited it for a couple of months in the house of a person that was called, here it says, let's see where it says, Obed Edom the Gittite. So in the home of Obed, for some reason, King David didn't bring it back straight to the temple, but it was deposited by this home of Obed the Gittite. So for the conductor on the Gittit, it could be also referring to this Obed, okay? A psalm by David, a song composed by David. God our master, how mighty is your name throughout the earth. So this psalm is a refute to people that say that Hashem created the world, that he is the master, but I'm sorry, he's the creator, but he's not the master. What is the difference between the creator and the master? So the creator of the world is that Hashem made the world like in the 6 days of creation, but then he left the world. He put the stars and he put the zodiac and he left the stars to take care of nature, right? To be the master is not just that he created the world, but is that he controls even the leaf that is falling from a tree. He is controlling that. So master is that he's controlling everything in my life. And number 8, right? And number 8, as we know, the number 8, if we put it horizontally, is the sign of infinite, right? Because in the numbers, right, we know 6 is because everything in this world has 6 sides, right? It has a front, a back, a side, up and down. Everything in this physical world is 6. That's why Hashem tells us you will work for 6 days. 7, you will rest, which means on the day of Shabbat, 7 is 1 plus a 6. So it's a taste of the next world while we're still in this world. On Shabbat, we get a taste of the infinite, but in this world. So 6 is totally nature. 7 is the natural that is giving us a taste of the supernatural. But 8, we do the circumcision. We do the Brit Milah on the 8th day because we're saying 8 totally transcends this world because it doesn't make sense. I won't even dare to cut the nails of a little newborn baby, right? I'm scared, right? And yet we do this ritual that really, if we're not Jewish, it would seem sadistic or crazy. But we do it because it's a connection to Hashem that is of the supernatural. It's not about if it's logical to me or not. We're connecting to Hashem to a level that is beyond our intellect. Okay, so that is the 8. Okay, how and the Gittit is an instrument of 8 strings. How mighty is your name throughout the earth. So King David, remember, he's refuting people that are saying, oh, God just created the world, but he has nothing to do with it now. He says, no, how mighty is your name throughout the earth, you who have set your majesty upon the heavens. So in Bereshit, it says Hashem made the heavens and then the earth. And there's a whole conversation of when Moses went up to heaven to take the Torah, and the angels didn't want to give it. The angels, they said, Hashem, the Torah, she's your most precious, like your daughter. Why are you going to give it to man? Man has moods. Today they want to serve you. Tomorrow they don't want to serve you. Today they want Israel. Tomorrow they want to break it up into little pieces. They're going to desecrate your Torah. Why are you going to give it to them? And Hashem said to Moses, Moses, you should speak. Speak to the angels. And Moses said, angels, what is it written? What's written in the Torah? It says, honor your father and mother. Do you have father and mothers? No. It says, I'm your God that took you out of Egypt. Were you ever slaves in Egypt? No. It says, do not be, do not commit adultery. Are you married? No. So clearly the Torah is not for heaven, it's for the earth. Okay. But in that conversation, the angels also said these words that we're reading, because they said, God, our master, how mighty is your name throughout the earth. Remember, master is not just a creator, it's that you control everything. The angels are saying, Hashem, we know that you're the master, right? You're the master, and how mighty is your name throughout the earth. We see that your name, you are controlling everything. You have set your majesty upon the heavens. You have your abode, your house is in the heavens, right? And so why are you gonna give it to earthlings? This was words from the angels. This is what King David is writing here. Okay. Now, number 3, it says, from the mouths of babes and sucklings, from the mouths of little babies. What are they recalling? When we left Egypt and we're crossing the Red Sea and the sea parted, it says, as those babies that had been thrown into the river Nile, the Midrash tells us that they were actually saved. They were saved, and then there was a rock of honey and a rock of milk that fed them, or oil that fed them. And when these babies grew up, they returned to their houses. These children, when we left Egypt and the sea parted, it says that when the sea parted here, the heavens also parted. And they said, even little children had great revelations, right? Had prophecy. And these little children said, this is our God. This is our God that sustained us. This is our God that gave us the rock of honey and the rock of oil to live. So it says, from the mouths of babes and sucklings, they were suckling the rocks to sustain themselves. You have established your might to counter your enemies. So even the little children are a testament that you are the master here, right? To counter your enemies, not only talking about God, enemies to God, but King David is saying, whoever, they say right now, anti-Israel is not anti-Jewish. It's not true. Anti-Israel really is the new anti-Semitism. And in ultimate, to be anti-Israel, to be anti-Jew, is really to go against God. It's really a war against God. Okay? So to silence foe and avenger. Number 4, when I behold your heavens, when I see your heavens, I see what you have done. I see even a sea. I see a flower. I see the beauty in the world. I see a sunset. I said, wow, only Hashem can do this, right? The work of your fingers. So fingers, we have 10 fingers. The finger represents, in spirituality, the energy of Hashem that is in the 10 Sefirot. So the work of your fingers is through your Sefirot, you have made your world, the moon and the stars, which you have set in place. So the moon and the stars, we can say these are the zodiac, as we have said. Yes, Hashem put the zodiac to control the nations of the world, but here it's saying, but you control them, right? What is a man that you should remember him? Son of man, that you should be mindful of him. Like, what are we compared to you? Like, how are we supposed, this is a refute to people that say God doesn't run the world right now. And it says, who is this earthling to say that? What are we? We're just dust and ashes, right? Yet you have made him but a little less than the angels. So even this lowly creature that we have a Yetzer Hara, that we can sin, that we fall, that we, we have limited existence here. Yet Hashem has endowed us with being, when we focus, when we do mitzvot, we can reach and be higher than the angels. That's the power of a Jew. That when we are focused on our mission, we can be higher than the angels, right? And crowned him with honor and glory. Number 7, you made him rule over your handiwork. So as we see in the Bereshit story, Hashem made Adam and he made him CEO of the world. All the animals were here to be of her service. Even the serpent was like a butler to Adam, right? But when man behaves in the Torah way, when Adam sinned, then the whole world, his sin affects all of humanity. So everything comes out of whack. And now the animals are not going to serve it. So here it's saying, wow, you made man. He's a lowly creature, but because you endowed him with this divine soul, a piece of you, he can be higher than the angels, right? You placed everything under his feet, sheep, cattle, all of them. Like that is how the world really is supposed to be. Everything is supposed to be at our service, all of them. But first we have to dominate ourselves. Also the beasts of the field. So not only domesticated animals, but also the undomesticated, as we saw in the existence of the flood in Noah times, in the ark. In the ark, for 1 year, Noah lived the existence of Mashiach times, when the sheep is going to dwell along with the fox, and they're going to be fine. They're not going to fight, right? And everything's going to be to our service. This was in for a little taste of what Mashiach times will be. The birds of the sky, like even the birds of the sky, will be under our dominion, and the fish of the sea. He traverses the paths of the sea. So man, Hashem has endowed us with the ability to even cross the sea. So now we do it not only by boat, we do it by airplane. We can even dominate that, right? God, our master. So here's declaring God, you're the creator, but you're also our master, our sustainer. How mighty is your name throughout the world. So when we see the kindness that you have done to us and how you have endowed us with this ability to be higher than the angels and to really dominate all of the world. So here we're saying, our sages tell us, in his humility, you can find God, because God, he lowers himself. He puts himself into us, into these lowly creatures. Yet this is just because he's so humble. So here's a recognition that God is not only the creator, but he's the sustainer, and that we are grateful to him. I'm going to leave it here. I know you have another class in a few minutes. Okay. So next week we'll do, I'll be back already in Shul. We'll do the chapter 9 and 10. Okay. Thank you. I hope you liked it. Any questions? Good. Okay.
Toda, where are you?
Okay.
Toda.
Okay. Thank you.
Chao,
Thank
Vivi.
you.
Okay. Bye. Bye todos.
Bye, Vivian.
Bye, Linda. Bye, nos vemos.